Hello everyone, my name is Shen Qingchuan. You can also call me River. I'm a front-end engineer and also enthusiastic about open source development. I did a lot of translation in the past few years in Vue, Vite, and Rollup Chinese documentation. But for now, I'd like to call myself the author of Vue Vine. I'm so glad to have today's opportunity to share this project with you in Vue Nation. So let's roll back the clock to see where we began. When I started learning Vue in 2018, Vue 2 was already a popular framework with a major ecosystem and toolchain. Until now, we all feel very natural to write Vue components in SFC. But we do have a few different ways to write Vue components, right? Someone who has experience in building component libraries might vote for JSX because of its flexibility. And Vue also has not bad support for JSX. Additionally, after my research, I found that there are indeed many users want to write multiple components in one file. I think maybe several reasons for this. First, is it really necessary to use a single file to contain just one component? Users who complain about this are probably annoyed by always need to create a new file, which is not a difficult operation but breaks our heart flow. Many developers may start from writing a very long component and then splitting, which can be very annoying when using SFC. And then, switching between files in a large codebase project is even more dizzying. Let's keep these conclusions and see if there is any available solution in our community. There are two solutions trying to solve this problem. The first solution thought we need to extract reusable templates, provided by Vue macros first and then merged into Vue use. The second one is Vue nested SFC, which is a Vite plugin. Let's start with the first one. Here is a demo code showing how it works. You may find something very complex and duplicated in your template. Then you want to extract it out as a reusable fragment. You can define a pair components to replace all the duplicated parts. You can also pass props to this reusable part, which is just like passing props to a component. But components are not only views, right? That solution seems to only give us a little sweet, but I am not satisfied. Let's see the second solution, Vue nested SFC. It's a quite complete solution, but the more I look into it, the more I'm convinced that the ideal solution should not be built on top of SFC. Approach of making toolchain support for this kind of design certainly be invasive to existing official version. I'm sure that we need a non-invasive solution, and that means we need to all build by ourselves. If you have ever used the Vue SFC playground, you can see the output result after compilation, which is a bunch of code that related to a Vue component object. So, supporting for multiple components in one file is actually quite easy. Thanks to Vue's good architecture design, it divides compiler into different layers so that we can start from any one. Theoretically, we just need to loop this process, produce multiple component objects, and put them together. It decreased a lot of work when creating our new toolchain. Next, let's talk about the syntax design. I believe the React style is a more natural way to define components, because just writing a function is enough. I really like the DX that JSX provides, but why do I abandon it in Vue Vine? JSX is too dynamic. It's too hard to be analyzed by Vue compiler to generate optimize information. I don't want to lose the valuable performance benefits brought by Vue 3's optimization, and Vue has a lot of powerful built-in features for template. After Vue 3 providing the script setup pattern, I found that's very suitable to be put inside a function, and I know that's the time to start. So, here is the solution that Vue Vine provides. We can define a component as a function and use the template as the return value. In today's JS ecosystem, since we have a bundler toolchain like Vite, we can easily create some compile magic. This function is seen as function in source code, but a Vue component object in runtime. But as a user, you don't need to care about these underlying implementation details. A divine.ts is just a valid TS file, nothing different from what you are familiar with. And we are easy to integrate with existing toolchain and leverage superpower from VS Code. A divine.ts file could be treated as two parts. The yellow parts are functions that returning Vine template strings, which are component functions. The green part is the rest of the code, which are normal TS statements. Due to the limitation of time, we won't expand a full details of Vue Vine usage today. If you are interested, please check out our documentation to get more details. After finishing the first version of compiler, I was super excited, and that's my first time achieving something has really complicated design and requires a lot of work. But I know there will be more. I need to write a Vite plugin to support HMR, make a playground project as my demo. I need to write documentation to introduce this project. I need to write a language service extension for VS Code. I need to build ESLint integration for this new syntax. And I hope I can create a community around this project. Actually, I just created this project for personal learning and practice in the beginning, but I found it has some potential value, and I have gained a lot of improvements in my skills while working on it. I started to treat it as my baby and spent almost all my free time on it. I did a lot of preparation and design for this Vue Vine's architecture, and I'm so proud of that I can easily add a new feature as a module to this project now. Effort came from one person is always limited, and that's why I love open source community. You can always find friends to cooperate with and build amazing things. Thank you to all the members of the Vue Vine team and all the friends who have contributed to our project's code. I think we are getting more and more mature, and there are still many opportunities to improve it, which means we are looking forward to your contribution. That's all for my talk today. Thanks for your attention.
Splendid. Thank you so much. We do have a few questions for you. So let me grab those. What were the main technical challenges in developing Vue Vine?
I think that the the most difficult part is to write the compiler, and I and the and also the most difficult part is to implement the language tools. Just because I need to borrow some part of code just from the Vue official language tools, and I have a lot of talk with Johnson, which is just Evan just talked about him in the beginnings talk, and we discussed a lot about our uh, syntax design and how to implement this with TypeScript plugin in Vola.js. And we iterate many versions of it. And for now, we have a very good IDE support in VS Code while you are writing Vue Vine. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you. How does Vue Vine's performance compare to a traditional Vue components?
Actually, it does not affect any performance level because it's just a compiler front end. It's just a tool to help you can write multiple components in one file, but uh, we all generate standard view objects, so it doesn't affect any view's performance, and it can leverage any Vue's new features such as the Vue Vapor mode. Yeah, we are gonna uh, uh, do some compatible plans to just adopt Vue 3.6 and any other new version. Yeah, any other Vue features that we are gonna support later, and because we are a non-standard and non-official solution, so we will play uh, it stand it for a stable library, and we will make it usable for production, so our users could be not worry about that. Yeah.
I feel like that leads very well to our next question of what are use cases best suited for Vue Vine?
Yeah, so when you're gonna write some very very small components, just like list item view, maybe you would create a big list, and but you are writing a view that from your Figma, but and you are gonna start building your view structure, and maybe something you want to just write just next to this main component, and you're gonna write a very small just fragment, and I think that's the best use case for Vue Vine. And it doesn't I don't want to just shape what it is, because I think our user can explore more ways, because I can't expect any detailed use case for this. So as you like, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. How does Vue Vine handle type interface?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I really want to mention it about because for IDE level, we use Vue.js to just actually you can think that we adopt the TypeScript language service in VS Code, because Vue.js is actually what it does. It is actually the tool that does it. So we can use the IDEs, TypeScript language service, and to adopt those type inference, and it's just like a flow in your editor. So this is IDE level, but in the question that we mentioned about define props, yeah, the type Vue Vine handles it with different ways, because we use TS morph, and we adopts your project's TS config.json, and we see your project as a TS project, and we use TS morph to analyze all the type information. So we will resolve the props shape, and we can analyze we can just output all the props name and to the view object. So we handled it with a different strategy with view compiler SFC. So that's the main difference. And actually, that what we do is better than the Vue official version, because maybe there are some bad case in Vue official version, but we are using TS Morph to just deliver standard TS. Yeah.
All right. Why do we need this if standard Vue render functions do their job?
Yeah, because what I mentioned about in our documentation, that if you use edge function, which we call the JS, the render function, you are probably writing very nested code, and it can leverage it cannot leverage the performance improvements by Vue 3's compilation mechanism. Yeah, that's why I'm continuously stay with a Vue template. Yeah, because I think it's Vue native.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, two more questions. Vue Vine has, does Vue Vine have support for unit test stage?
I think if you are using Vue Vine, uh, I'm not quite sure about this question. What does it mean about? Because uh, we have a unit test in our own repo, and if you wanna test about the compiler output, you can check our repo's unit test. And if you want to test about your component that written in Vue, uh, I think you can just test it with the standard Vue test utils. If you have found any questions, please send us any issue that I will fix it. Yeah.
All right, last question of can Vue Vine be as official part of Vue in the future?
Uh, that's what I dream. That's what I'm dreaming about. Yeah, but I will talk about this with Evan. Maybe some days that this one could be an official part. But actually, in my from the beginning, I don't persuaded to be. Um, it's not a must. Yeah, it's not a must. Yeah, because we
Awesome.
need
Thank
to
you so
be
much for, oh,
invasive. Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We greatly appreciate it.